Welcome to this week's GMBN Tech Show. I'm in this week. Doddy's actually away. He's off fixing his house, I think. We've got loads of cool news from the mountain bike world, including loads of new bikes, a brand new Scott Ransom, a new Trek Remedy, a titanium hardtail with a gearbox, plus Fox's brand new live suspension system. Okay, so the bike that I will be racing at the final round of the EWS this year is this brand new Scott Ransom that's been released today. I've been riding it for a little while now. It's a great bike, 170mm travel with that Scott twin lock system. So you've got full descent mode, you've got traction control where it lowers the travel but also adjusts the suspension so it closes the chamber inside that shock, just to make sure it actually completely affects the bike, not just reduces the travel. It makes the bike sit up much higher in its travel when you're sagging in and climbing up a big steep climb. You can actually sit much higher, keep that bike maneuverability, really good for those type of events. It runs 29 or 27.5 inch wheels. I've been running the 29 inch wheels, which I really like, especially for enduro racing, so I'm definitely gonna run those wheels. Loads of cool features, and it's actually on Tech of the Week this week on the Dirt Shed Show. So it's the same frame layout that Scott have used for their Spark, then their Genius, and now the Ransom. So you can see that 4-bar linkage. Just the Ransom is much more beefed up. They've actually said that they can hang a ton of weight off the bottom bracket, and this is the strongest carbon frame that Scott have ever made. As you'd expect from Scott, it's super lightweight. So for the top end carbon frame with the shock plus the shock hardware, it weighs in at 2,650 grams for the medium frame. And for the cheaper version, so for the lower price bikes, it's 3,050 grams for the carbon front end and alloy rear. Some really nice touches on this bike, so even the cables run inside the bottom bracket of the frame rather than run on the outside where they could be susceptible to rock smashes when you're racing. Even there's a protector on the chainstay and the seat stay just to quieten down that chain as well. You've got the ability to run both air shocks with a piggyback and even coil shocks on this bike. A nice feature on the high-end bikes as well is you've got that Fox Nude TR Evol shock. So it's Scott's proprietary shock to be used with that twin lock system, but also you have this ramp adjust lever. So on the fly, really easy, you can swap the bike from being really linear to that rear shock being super progressive. Another new bike is a brand new Trek Remedy. It's still a 150mm travel bike with a 160 fork up front. They've actually ditched that fully floating effect on that shock, so they've actually gone back to a lower mount. They're saying that just because of improvements with shock technology over the last few years, they can get that damping effect that they really would like. It's got 4 threaded holes underneath the top tube to attach the wolf tooth B-rad system for tool storage. It's got the same old ABP system with reactive and through shaft. It's got a slacker head angle from a 66 down to a 65.5. Obviously not a huge change, but it can be returned to a 66 with a minnow link chip. It's got a 1 degree steeper seat angle and same reach. Fox Suspension have introduced this new live suspension system, so more electronics to go on a bike if you desire it. It's got loads of sensors all over the bike that will actually make the bike react to what you're riding, so it'll even know when you're descending or climbing. It's got 2 accelerometers, one in the fork arch and one near the rear axle, and it measures the velocity of vertical movements and impact. Super clever stuff. Data is sent to a live valve processor which determines which way the bike is angled and if it's in the air. The function is then sent back to fork or shock to open damper if needed. The time between impact and damping is just 3 milliseconds. The sensitivity can still be adjusted via a small hex screw on top of the fork, as well as an open mode and firm mode. Controller can be recharged on or off the bike and is completely weather sealed, as you'd expect from any mountain bike technology. And it adds about 144 grams to the bike. So the price, that's where the kicker is. It ranges from $3,000 for a 32 step cast fork to $3,250 for a 36. Less for OEM customers. Now time for something slightly different. What about a titanium hardtail with a pinion gearbox? Check this out, it's a viral bike. They've got 2 models of this, a Skeptic that comes with a 130 or 150mm travel fork, or a Derive coming with a 120 all rigid. We've seen a few manufacturers actually launching bikes with gearboxes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I've not ridden a gearbox bike ever. I've heard that you do get some added friction in there from the drivetrain, but getting rid of the rear mech has got to be quite a positive thing, I think. Talking about gearbox bikes, Sick Bicycles have just launched a Kickstarter for a full suspension bike with gearbox and actually reached their funding goal within 24 hours. The viral bikes, however, are pretty pricey. They both come in for about $4,500 for the frame and the drivetrain. 100% Clothing have introduced their new autumn collection, so they've improved much of the existing clothes and actually completely redeveloped the entire glove range. All new is a Cognito glove with knuckle protection without sacrificing any comfort for the rider. We've got new designs and colourways for their Racecraft Plus goggle that was actually worn by Loic Brunier in 1 and Mont Saint Anne, as well as other improvements to other lines of goggles such as the Strata Forecast and Akuri lines. E13 have launched a very limited edition set of Aaron Gwyn's signature carbon wheels, so only 25 sets available worldwide. Carbon rims, they've got a lifetime warranty, actually got a carbon hub shell on there as well. So a 650B wheel set, so obviously Aaron wasn't running them at the last World Cup when he's running a 29er bike, but it also runs a 7-speed integrated cassette, and it's got a recommended tyre widths of about 2.3 to 2.6. So the last 2 bikes that Doddy's actually featured here on this show have gone to win races. So Richie Rude actually won a round of the California Enduro Series on that brand new Yeti SB150, and Martin Mays has gone and won the Lebrest downhill on that brand new GT Fury. So what is coming next? Is anyone going to win a race on that Scott Ransom? Definitely not me, I know that for sure, but someone might. Now it's time for the bike cave. Now we've been getting tons of entries for this, but it's great to see where you look after your bikes and where you keep them. But keep sending them through via our uploader. Details are on screen now. But let's get in and let's take a look at Angelo's bike cave. So check out Angelo's bike cave. He's got loads of stuff in there with his brother as well. Check out that quad. They're riding and racing all sorts of things. He's got BMXs, quads. His brother's BMX, check it out. He's been sort of upgrading, respraying it. I love it. You've got loads of cool stuff in there. Big tool case, with chest with all your tools. Also got them racked up on the wall. I love doing that myself when I get a workshop set up, so you can just get your tools out and go delve into a toolbox. Love it. Next bike cave comes from Gaz, who I keep bumping into. I saw him at the Hard Rock race a couple of weeks ago, and I saw him at Forestine last week. So I'll let him do the chatting because he's given us a tour of his bike cave.
Hi Doddy, just going to take you through my bike cave quickly. Thought I'd do a little video for you. Bit better than a few sort of random pictures, just talk you through some bits. So yeah, my garage, bit of storage at the same time as well, but we can work with that. Things like jet washer, Pride and Joy, my Aeris AM9. Over here, my Cube Analog, which I've turned into a commuter bike, so I put my Crank Brothers clips on there, and some road tyres. Got a turbo trainer in that, so I can push everything to the back and get the turbo trainer out. So work stand with a mate's road bike on there. He's just bought that for 60 quid, doing a bit of work on that for him. My wife's bike, which rarely gets used, and she's looking at getting an e-bike and getting out on the trail so she can keep up with me. And we've got things like old pushchair, some spares, etc. A couple of spare wheels. That wheel I'm going to turn into a clock. The rim's actually flat spotted all the way around, so the rim's no use to man or beast, so a bit of an ornament. My little lad's tractor, he loves going out on that. Got radio control for it as well, so he doesn't run out in front of a truck. Little storage box there, and the pelly case. So the pelly case gets filled with tools, and the box gets filled with spares. So when I go away for a race weekend or something like that, it's nice and compact. You can keep all my stuff together. Old camping table then, which I'm using as a workbench. Got some gloves up on there, some various sort of cleaner sprays, lubricants, Gorilla Tape, mastic tape, both a big fan of that. Drawer set as well, so that's full of all spares and tools. I'm not going to lie, as you can see it, they're all sort of chucked in there at the moment. It's not ideal. I'm looking to get a piece of board and put up on the back wall there, trace around the tools and bang some nails in there, make my own pegboard. Bent rotor, so this one that suffered its fate at Forest Dean on the wood sections there. And then just a bin to keep everything tidy. There's a bit of decoration up on there. I've got all my race numbers from the last sort of couple of years as well, including, so that was my current race number for the UK Gravity Enduro. So yeah, hope you enjoyed having a little look around my workshop, and next time you're riding in Boxwoods, it's only about 900 metres from me, so give me a shout.
And finally, this is a great one. It comes from Stephen, who's a Bristolian living in Sweden for the last 15 years, who's been collecting bikes. So he hasn't got a car, so bikes are his thing. Now check out this. Right, let's start with his tool wall, where he seems to have a pretty cool sound system built into the wall as well. Loads of tools. Actually, I can't recognise all of them to be honest, but check out the bikes. How many's he got there? He's got a scooter thing. Well, that doesn't count. Got 2 scooters. There's an old GT Karakoram, I reckon, that yellow and orange thing. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that I can see. There's a shopping bike. What is that? Ancelotti trail bike. That is a blast from the past. That is mental. Cool to see that though. Is that a pull shock bike? I think they were. Oh, flipping out. What is that? A Softail road bike with those tri-bars on it and a pint of beer in the background. I'm more interested in the pint of beer than I am in the bike, to be honest, Stephen. Oh my God, that scooter with bar ends, rock shocks. Is that an Indy fork? Who knows what you use that bike for? You live in Sweden. There's another one. Another one. What the hell? I have no idea. It's got a Magura hydraulic rim brake on the front and on the rear. There you go, that's the GT Karakoram. I like that. My friend had one of these at school in the 90s. Loved the paint jobs on these bikes. Another rock shocks. Is that in India as well? I can't remember. Don't think it is. I think someone else. U-brake on the back of those old GTs. Good for nothing, especially in the wet. Check out that chain device. I had one of those. Can't remember who it was made by. Really good though. Canyon. It's like a Grand Canyon. We're moving into the modern age with this. Much more my cup of tea. And now you can see you've drunk half the beer as well. Must be a long day in the workshop. Gervin Flex Stem. Never had one of those, but I know from experience with other people telling me that when you hit a bump, not only did that sort of flex, but everything rolled forward as well. So not ideal. They did go out of fashion. Check out those GT flats. I remember those. The sort of, you know, you could take those plates off. I don't know if you ever replaced them. What is going on here? Some sort of micro scooter and something that seems to have 0 bars at all, and some skateboard wheels at the front. Stephen, you're obviously a bit of an eccentric, but I love your bike cave, so thanks for sending that in. Right, there's plenty of retro going on in the bike cave, but check out this week's Rewind. We've got some amazing bikes. We've got Tom from Seattle who's just picked up this 1993 GT Team Avalanche. Now these are the golden years for me personally. This is when I was just getting into mountain biking, so it's lovely to see these bikes. Tom says that he picked this up off the internet for cheap. Steel frame, rock shocks, Judy SL, that lovely yellow colour. The parts have been replaced along the way, but that's because it's been ridden continuously since '93. He plans to continue on it and ride it on the local trails. Check this out now, look at that bike. It's quite a big frame I reckon, but it looks cool. I reckon you need a tan wall tyre on the rear as well, Tom, to make that bike look super cool. Just looks good to me. It does look retro, the sort of angles of those bikes, but that triple triangle frame layout that we saw on that Karakoram as well, I think still looks really cool nowadays. Love that. Cheers, Tom. Now time from Jani from Finland, who's got this Cannondale M900, a Killer V800. So the M900's from 95, Killer V's from 97, a Super V400 from 97, and that Raven from 98. Now that Raven is pretty iconic. Well, she needs a couple of bits to finish it off. Chain, some brakes, some controls up on the bars. That head shock still going on there. Still looks pretty cool, I reckon. V400, those tyres look super retro to me, but not in a good way, to be honest. Those Panaracers, not quite retro enough to be cool. Wow, what, there's wheels on that M900. Almost looks like some sort of, you know, New York sort of courier bike. I really like the look of that. Super cool bike. And finally, Ryan from Texas sent in this 1994 Trek 930 SHX. He's actually sent us in a video of him riding this bike in Washington, so nice to see him still using it. He said he went on a family vacation, promised not to make it all mountain biking, but couldn't resist going for a ride with his dad. He's still got his 94 Trek 920 full rigid. So he says he can still have fun on the old bikes, but a lot more fun on the modern bikes. Check it out. Got RockShox fork up front, got some big old bar ends on there, but great to still see you riding that bike. Some lovely bikes this week on Rewind, and don't forget to use that uploader and send us yours through and might feature on next week's show. Some great top mods this week. Check out this first one, it's absolutely mental. So Jolly from South Carolina has made a homemade dropper seat post. Have you ever heard of such a thing? So he's made it from a floor pump and an old seat post. and you know the thing that lifts your hatchback in the car? So check it out, he's literally just sort of sawn a seat post. No, he's used that 4-pump as the outside bit. I don't know how he's got this to fit his bike as well. Look at that sort of pin that you have to pull out. That is absolutely mental. I'd love to see it in action, see if it actually works, but jolly, that is a brilliant thing. I would never have thought of that myself. Next one comes from Andreas in Worms in Germany. So we've seen a few different solutions for mounting a bottle cage to a frame that doesn't normally have the bolts. So this is an SKS bottle cage adapter combined with a Fidlock magnetic bottle mount that Doddy has shown on previous GMBN Tech shows. I know I've seen that. So he's put this on his brand new Canyon Spectral. Nice one, Andreas, that's cool. Pretty good placement as well. Can you actually reach that bottle? I guess you can whilst you're riding. Do you notice it? But it's a good solution to frames that don't have those bottle cage mounts. Right, last one comes from Paulio from Brighton in the UK. He's taken his bright green Kona Process and given it a whole new paint job. So it looks pretty cool. The bike is definitely not stock with all those Hope parts. It's a great looking bike. It's cool to see people doing sort of custom paint jobs on their bikes. You don't see it that often actually. I've heard of people wrapping their bikes as well. But nice one. It's a good solution if you don't like the colour of your bike. Tech of the week this week is that brand new Scott Ransom that I talked about earlier on in the show. But if you want to see a full first look video, click over there for that one. I'll talk you through all the finer details of that bike and I actually ride it as well. And if you want to see episode 2 of our essentials where Jess tells you everything you need to know about brake pads, click over there for that one. Give us a thumbs up if you love GMBN Tech and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you've not done already.